So with MLB The Show 21 being formally announced within the past few days, I figured that today I would go through and kind of give like an overview over everything in MLB The Show for those who maybe are Xbox people who never really wanted to play on the PlayStation, or maybe you're somebody who thought about playing MLB The Show before, but you didn't really know if you wanted to or not. So this video is for you guys who want to see what MLB The Show gives you, what it entails, everything that's in it. I'm going to show you as much as I can. Obviously, there will be stuff that I may not be able to show in the sense of, because I'll give an example. They said they're going to revamp the franchise mode. I don't know what they're going to change. So obviously I may not just show certain things of franchise because I'm not 100% confident of what they might change or what they might not change. But of course, whenever they announce the things that are going to change, I'm going to make videos in the future to kind of explain all the different things that they might be changing. So of course, if you want to keep up with everything, consider subscribing and turning on the notification bells. That would be amazing just to see any kind of support on this. But we're going to start out with the main thing that I think most people will probably play when they come to play MLB The Show 21. And that is going to be, let me just back out of this real quick to show it. We're going to be heading to Diamond Dynasty. Diamond Dynasty is the online mode that just, I feel like a good percentage of the players play. It's between this and Road to the Show, but we'll get to that a little later on. So Diamond Dynasty, of course, is the online game mode. Now, in Diamond Dynasty, there is a lot that you can do. You have your rank stuff, you have your solo stuff, you have your competitive stuff, you have some casual stuff along the way, you have your team, you have a bunch of different things. But of course, like I said, I'm going to go over everything kind of in more detail because I want to give you guys the best opportunity to understand everything rather than just kind of glossing over everything. So the first thing that we're going to start with is the modes. We have a bunch of different modes here, so I'm going to go over each of them in a little bit of detail just to give you an idea of what each of them is about. First off, we're going to start with the main one, Ranked Seasons. Ranked Seasons, whenever you start out, you're going to be at a 0 rank. As you play, you will get more and more and more, and as you progress, you will get better and better packs to level up, or I guess improve your team. So of course, let's say you win your first game, you're going to get just a normal bronze player. If you make it to 200, which it goes up, in the beginning it feels like you go up by like 30-40 points, and then as you get higher it'll get lower, like 25, 20, maybe 15 when you're like in here. But it's like a steady progression to kind of win. Of course, if you lose, you're going to lose rank as well. Now, I'm explaining a lot of this in the sense of I don't play Madden, I don't play NBA, I don't play NHL. MLB The Show is like the only sports game that I really play a lot. So I'm not going to be able to kind of compare to NFL, NBA, or any of those. But I can give you a pretty good idea of how things will work for MLB The Show. But anyway, getting back on track, of course, if you make it to 200, you'll get a silver. If you go to 400, you'll get silver and some icons and some nameplates. Here is the 500. I don't know if they're going to keep this in MLB The Show 21, but in this year, what they did for the 500, which is like the middle, is early on, they would give us like a gold player that we could choose from, and then as the year went along, they increased each player's attributes to give you more and more incentive to obviously get to at least this point, into the point where we were getting 99s in the middle of the row. 600, you get a gold player. Here, this is something that they did for like the end of the year kind of thing. I think it was just normally like a gold player and then this stuff. 800, you get a gold player, you get some packs, and you get that stuff. And then at 900, which is the World Series, the highest technical point that you really want to aim for, is where they give you the big boys, the really, really amazing players. Of course, early on, it was only 90, but even then, if you look at their prices now, they go for a shit ton, an absolute shit ton nowadays, because not everybody makes it to World Series. And then of course, if you happen to make it past it and you make it to 1,000 or higher, they'll just give you extra packs and extra stubs and experience to just kind of be like, yep, I did that, I got more stuff than you. So I had somebody asking me in my comments of the video that I did the other day, which was explaining the packages for MLB The Show 21, the normal pack, or well, the normal edition, the Jackie Robinson edition, the digital deluxe edition. They asked, what are stubs? Are they compared to a certain thing in NFL? Or was it NBA? I think it was NBA. I'm dumb. I think it was NBA. But basically, stubs are the currency. You get stubs by doing anything in the game, honestly. You play a game, you get stubs. You twiddle your fingers, you get stubs. It's like, you will get stubs no matter what you do, whether it's online, offline, you're probably going to get stubs so long as you're doing something in the game. Now, if we're talking franchise and you're just kind of like simming through the year, you won't get stubs, but so long as you're doing some sort of baseball activity, whether it's home run derby, whether it's, I don't think you can do practice and get stubs, but any online mode, you'll probably get stubs. A good amount of offline modes, you will also get stubs. Alright, so the next mode that we're going to be talking about is Showdown. Showdown is a mode that they introduced this year, and it's a mode where you kind of go along a set of tasks that you should do, or what you have to do, and at certain points they will give you like these bigger tasks that you have to do, otherwise you will be booted back to the very beginning. But if you're feeling frisky, let's say the one that, because I haven't done these in a while, the 6th inning one, which is way back, if I wanted, I can do all of these different tasks, and they don't show you them until you get to them, which is a nice thing. You can do all of these tasks in a row until you reach the very final one, where you'll get a reward. Or you can just say, you know what, I feel like the team that I drafted, because you draft a team at the very beginning, it gives you like 8 to 10 rounds. They'll give you a few decent picks, a few diamonds, a few golds, a couple silvers, and then they'll automatically give you the rest of your team. See, look at here, I got a diamond, I got golds, I got a common, which unless you get a hitting common, they're not really that good. But you're gonna get a team that you're gonna draft, and then it's gonna give you those. If you feel confident with your team, you can just say, all right, I want to skip to the very last one and do the objective, which is right here in the bottom left. I can't hover over it, but the final showdown, which is you have to get a certain amount of runs against a certain pitcher with a certain amount of outs. Now, the outs are continuous. It's not like a baseball game where it's 3 innings, or well, 3 outs, and then you switch, you know? So if you happen to get 3 outs, it'll just continue on, you know? It won't just stop. Now, they did a lot of these. They did starter ones where you can get certain packs, certain players. They did specific ones because of something that I'll get into a little later on. And then they did the inning ones, which are their own little programs. Again, something that I'll get into a little later on as after I do all of the modes. The third mode that we got here is Battle Royale. Now, again, I don't know if they have this in any of the other sports games, but Battle Royale is a mode where it's a 3-inning baseball game, and you draft an entire team, and they give you a certain amount of golds, diamonds, commons, bronze, and everything else to draft in order to try to win. If you get 3 wins, you get a silver player. If you get 6 wins, you get a gold player. 9 wins, you get a lower diamond player. And then if you get 12 wins, you get a higher diamond player. But if you happen to go flawless, you'll be able to choose one of 3 of the players that they showed down here, which is some pretty good players. Again, because not everybody can go flawless, you're going to notice that their prices are extremely high. But just to give you an idea, because I have plenty of stubs to kind of just go through, something they'll do is, here you go, here's the first round is usually always the best round. I don't think it's ever a point where the first round will not be the best round. Now, there are many different ways that you can go about this, but the one way that most people go about the Battle Royale mode is you want to get really, really good hitters with like your better diamonds, and then you kind of want to build your pitching through the golds and silvers. And because it's a 3-inning game, the thing and the way that you want to go about it is probably more likely to get power hitters rather than contact guys. So obviously this isn't a good example, but here I would probably take Yelich. Whenever I get to a bronze round, it's just whatever. Find who somebody maybe has the highest speed, or maybe you just go with the pitcher if you think they have a good arsenal of pitches. But here I'd probably go with the guy with speed. Here I'd probably go with a reliever just because, you know, there we go. This is something. It's still not a good example, damn it. I guess it's a decent example. But in a sense like this, I'd probably go with Chris Bryant because he has better power numbers compared to Griffey, but it's always a toss-up. Do you want that right-handed bat? Do you want the left-handed bat? Or do you just want to go with a starter who has 96 miles an hour on his fastball? Do you want a reliever who has 98 on his fastball that also has a slider and a changeup? It all really depends on the person. But anyway, let's back out of this for now, and we're going to move on to the next mode. The next mode we got is another single player mode that I should also mention is Showdown. That's also a single player mode. Conquest is another single player mode where it gives you a bunch of different kinds of maps. Early on, of course, let's go all the way to the beginning. Of course, they'll probably give you a starter map, which is a very, very nice and easy map. You can just go through it and collect a bunch of different things. They give you a certain amount of goals that you can do to finish up the map. If we go in, it's basically like, how would I say it? I wouldn't say think of it like Risk, but you want to go across all the different spaces, collect as many spaces as you can. Some of them will give you a goal where it's steal a certain amount of fans. Oh, I went too far back. But some of them will give you a thing where it says steal a certain amount of fans, and then of course you'll have to steal a certain amount of fans, and then you go into a reinforcement. You'd build yourself back up, and then if you want to move certain pieces to different locations, you can do that, and then you just continue on your way until you're able to defeat all of the different teams and get every single space on your side. Of course, they give you hard ones, like one of the harder ones that I think I've never been able to do this one, but it's the one where it's just the USA and you're in the dead center of it. And then of course, as they go through the programs, they'll give you different ones. They give you usually one for Mother's Day, Father's Day, and then Jackie Robinson Day, and of course they have the extreme one, and oh Jesus, good fucking luck with that one. But it's basically just a bunch of different maps that you can go along through and battle different teams and go along. And honestly, this year was a good year for Conquest because they gave you a bunch of different packs. They gave you a bunch of different stubs. They gave you a lot. They gave you a lot for doing Conquest, which I don't think they did a lot in the past years. So I think Conquest took a big step this year compared to last year. And I'm excited to do more Conquest next year. The next mode I'm going to talk about is Moments, because tournaments I never really got into. I think it's just what it is. It's tournaments. You can compete in tournaments with other people to win prizes. Well, I'm not somebody who was able to do that a lot because, you know, I'm not able to sit down for like an entire weekend to do them. So I'll gloss over that one and go to something that I do know a lot about, and that is Moments. Moments has a lot of different things. You can do pitching, you can do hitting, and it all depends on whatever they want to give you. So of course, when we go back to, like, say the first inning, the very, very first thing that they did, they gave you specific players that you can do moments for that gets you toward a card probably of that player itself. So here we have a Curtis Granderson card. They would give you a certain amount of moments to do. Some of them range across 3-5 games. Some of them you do in one game, and I don't think they'll have it here. Some of them will be a single plate appearance or a single batter where you just do it there. If you don't, you just retry and keep going. Some of them are easy, some of them are hard. Each one has different difficulties. You got the veteran difficulty, you got all-star, you got rookie. It gives you different difficulties, and I will have to go into the difficulties later because, again, I don't know if it's different in any other sport, but baseball, I don't know why they do it, but they do something that I wouldn't say like okay or upset or like really happy with. It's just, personally, I just don't understand it, but it is what it is. And of course, as the year goes on, they give you bigger and better ones, and it would get to a point where we had the Players League ones, and then as we move on, we have the All-Timers ones. They give you American League ones, they give you National League ones, they give you the entire MLB ones. Of course, with these, you can get more stubs, you can get more experience points. They give you Extreme, and of course, God help us with Extreme. But the one I want to talk about most, I think, are these two. Tops Now, monthly, I guess postseason, because we'll get to Team Affinity later on. Tops Now is a thing where each week they'll pick like the best performances of players, and they'll give them a card for it. That is what Tops Now is, and you can do these moments in order to get a couple of these cards. Here there was a choice pack for 2 of the players from opening week. As we went on, for that week they can give you 3 players. But usually it's like 2 or 3 players that they'll give you. Monthly awards, they give you each month, and they give you a bunch of different things to do for that month. And of course, they give you a bunch of different cards for that month. Some are, of course, better than others. And then, of course, when we get to the postseason, they give you a bunch of different things that you can do there. You got the wildcard stuff, you got the division championship, and of course the World Series. But again, some of these things I'll get into just a little bit later. But we're on our last mode that I really want to talk about in depth. So let's go to the events. Events is a mode where they will give you a certain event. It could be you play with people who have a power of 90 and above. You play with people who have speed and contact with 90 and above. You play with only silver players. You play with only bronze players. You play with only diamonds. You play with fucking, I don't know, you can only have your team overall of 80. You know, you gotta really mix and match, and they give you a bunch of different things. You can play with left-handed bats and only right-handed pitchers. And these are things that go along throughout the year where they change them, and they probably give you about like a week or 2 to do each of them. Like this one, it's 2 weeks. And as you play along and you get more wins, it gives you better stuff. So you get 1 pack at 1 win, you get 3 packs at 5. You get a Ballin' is a Habit pack, which is a pack that gives you at least a gold player and sometimes a diamond player. Does it show it here? No. All right. This is something I'll have to get into a little later. And of course, after a certain amount of wins, they'll give you like the player that they want to show as like the main guy, which in here is Alex Bregman. It's a pretty good card. He has some good positions that he can play that isn't just third base. He's a good fielder. He's got some decent speed. He just is a guy that I probably would use if I didn't already have really, really good cards at those positions. And of course, as you win more and more and more, they give you a bunch of different packs. Some of them, like this one, is a rare guaranteed for that specific thing. Then of course you got like 20 packs, you got 10 packs, you got a bunch of different packs. And for this one, the extended play is basically just like your casual stuff. You can play with friends, you can just do a casual thing online, you can play versus a random CPU team. And extra innings, I'm not 100% certain what that is. Oh, it's where you can play somebody else, but they're controlled by a computer, and you can choose which difficulty you want to face them at. But with all the modes finally done, maybe I should just split this into a few videos. Jesus, after 20 minutes of talking almost. Next, we got the squad stuff, where you can control your squad, you control your team, you can pick which player you want to put at what position. Of course, oh my god, buttons don't work with me apparently. Let's say you don't want that catcher. You click on them and there are the rest of your catchers. You can sort through all the different catchers. You can sort through the people who have a secondary at that position, or just people who can't play the position at all. Of course, they give you a chance to use filters. You can look up specific names. You can look up specific overalls. You can look up specific teams, certain series of cards, certain sets of players. It gives you a bunch of different options to be able to look and hopefully find the people that you want a lot faster and better than sitting here and going, all right, I want X player. Let me just scroll through each page slowly. Obviously, catchers isn't like a big position. More so, like, all right, here's a better example. The bench. You want somebody on the bench. Well, I could go through all 88 pages, or I can just look up a specific person or a specific team. You know, they give you some nice, easy options to kind of go through things some decently fast. And of course, you got your pitchers over here. And then they give you a chance, at least within the past year or two, where you can add more teams if you want specific team builds, where like the one that I had here was mainly the monthly series cards, where I took the best players from each monthly thing and put them on a team. Here I don't even remember, I think it was like mainly like tops now guys and postseason guys. And of course, if you want like a specific team build, like I had here like the Dodgers for when I was doing I think I was doing some Conquest stuff and I needed to use like the Dodgers or something, I was doing that. But of course, they allow you to do all that stuff. Then they give you a chance to customize your own team outfit. And again, I don't know if they do this in the other games, but they allow you to make your own uniform. They allow you to get specific equipment on your team. And of course, they give you like audio things that you can do. You want specific things to say whenever you hit a home run or whenever you strike somebody out. I didn't mean to do that. I prefer none. I don't know, because I don't really like listen to a lot of the things, but it's mainly just sounds that you want to put on for your stuff. Of course, you got the created player, which they said they're going to be doing a little differently. At least it looks like they said they're going to be doing a little differently, so I won't get too much into that right now. Then we got the inside edge, which is a thing where depending on how a player is playing that specific day against that specific pitcher, or just how they're playing for the past week or two, they'll kind of get either like an upgrade or a downgrade. Of course, this only works with live series players. It doesn't work with the legends and the flashbacks and all that stuff. And then we have the roster updates, where it used to be about once a week they'd update all the players depending on how they've done over the past few weeks. Of course, the biggest part that everybody looks forward to is who's going diamond, who's getting removed from diamond, who's moving up, who do we look for, whose card do we buy a lot of, and then try to save, and then whenever they go up, we sell it off. You know, it's a lot of stuff like that. And of course, you know, you got your standings, your statistics, and everything like that. What? No, I don't want statistics. What is God Jesus? Game history. Do I have like a specific thing? Because I just want to see. Let's see lifetime. I mean, I'll take 5,000 out of how many? Okay, how do I let's sort. Okay, let's sort this. We sort the opposite way. You know what? I will take, okay? I will take 5,000 out of 463,000. I think I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm doing pretty all right. All right, I just wanted to see how I was doing. And then now we're going to get to a lot of the other stuff that I haven't really talked about a lot. So whenever you start, the main thing that you're probably going to be working towards is the programs. You got a bunch of different programs. They usually start you out with the first inning program, and that gives you a bunch of different things that you can do in order to progress through the, I guess, rewards that you can use for your teams. So, of course, as I said before, the Showdown, we had the first inning Showdown. If you get that, you get a certain amount of program stars, which will, of course, get you higher up on this to get more rewards. This damn circle button. They give you a certain amount of missions, win this many games in this mode, hit this many things with this player. And of course, each of those gives you more progress through the program. Conquest, they give you one for Conquest. They give you some collection stuff that you can do. You collect certain players, and then that'll progress you even further. And then the moments, like the first inning moments, if you do a certain thing, it'll bump it up again. Now, of course, early on, they don't give you a lot of good stuff. Here, they give you some decent gold players, and then they'll give you like the big guy This year they did the big guy at like 300 stars. I don't know if it's going to be 300 stars in 2021. It could be, maybe they do it at 200, maybe they do it at 400. I don't know. 300 seemed like a pretty good spot for it this year. So we'll just have to see if they continue doing it there. And of course, this goes along with every single one. You get a choice out of 3, unless for some reason they do something like with Ken Griffey Jr., where it's just you get Ken once you get to 300. Like right here, you get Ken once you get 300, and there you go, have a nice day. But aside from those, they also give you specific player programs. Now these players, this is something that they kind of did, I think, just for like this year. I don't know if they're going to do it for later on, but these are players that they give you, like here with the Curtis Granderson and Kerry Wood that I had shown you early on in the moments for the first inning. Here it gives you the moments of those specific players, and then you do those in order to progress in this. And then once you finish it all, you will get the player itself. And then from here, I don't think it's, no, okay, so this doesn't, most of these aren't involved in the other thing that I'm thinking about. But these are just to get these players. You know, you do the moments, you do some missions, which usually consists of getting certain amount of hits with the player, or specific types of players, exchanging cards for specific values, and then potentially, you know, facing off against a CPU and beating them. So they usually do that for most of these. But with somebody like, I think this is a main thing for Cal Ripken, where they just said do all the moments and then you'll get Cal Ripken. So sometimes it could be just do all the moments, sometimes it could be a mixture of both of those things. And yeah, of course sometimes they give you like a collection to do with this, the postseason stuff. But yeah, no, the next thing that I want to talk about with programs before we get to the monthly is the prestige. Now 2020, they introduced a higher tier rather than just diamond players, where it's the prestige. This is what I was thinking about, because the guys that you get at, I guess, the 300, or if you want to call it like the end of all of the programs, is a player that you can prestige. Now, of course, you do more of the missions for them. Oh my god, too many circle presses. You gotta love it. But you do a certain amount of missions, and then you collect the player itself, and that will give you a player that is bumped up. For this year, what they did was they had each stat boosted up by like 3 points, and that's how they prestige the player. They just make them better in just about every stat. And of course, they do this with every single player that is at the end. And then they did it with specific players along the way that they felt like should be able to get higher stats. And the last type of program is the monthly programs, which is going back to the other thing. You do the specific types of missions, and then as you go along, it'll bump them up. Like here we have a bunch of different stages. You got moments and missions, and then you just got a bunch of different missions in order to get like the biggest player. And then at the end, with all the biggest players at all of these, are the ones that can get prestiged. They did this for each month of the season, going all the way to September. But of course, because of the delays of everything, until July, they just had to use prior players. I don't think they'll have to do it for 2021, which means they can do it for each month specifically. But as you can tell, like look at an August card, they're a lot different than if you look at somebody like July, because these are what they used to look like back in 2017, 2018, 2019. You know, this is what they used to look like. And this is probably more akin to what they're going to look like moving on to next year. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is collections. There are a bunch of different collections that you can do. Of course, they give you starter ones as soon as you start. Collect a certain amount of things, which is like a certain amount of cards or whatever, a certain amount of infielders, outfielders. They'll give you some stubs, which I don't know why they blur it out whenever I go over here. Sure, whatever. A certain amount of stubs, certain amount of experience points. Of course, they give you a bunch of different things. Then as we go along, we'll kind of start lower. You got trophy ones where you can get specific amount of players for each one. And of course, same thing. They give you a course for all the different unlockable equipment stuff, which I will be honest, a lot of these are not really worth it. At least this year they weren't worth it, because I can get the wrist guards. Now, I can collect all of these for a total of 250 in-game stubs, which is about $2. No, I think it's like 25 fucking cents if you want to count it for real money. But you have to collect all of them. Well, I could go try and get this thing, but it's going to be 17,000 stubs. Why would I spend 17,000 stubs to get 100 stubs? Some of these aren't worth it, I'll be honest. So it's kind of like pick and choose. Which ones do you think are worth it? And in the collections is where, like, if you get all the specific players for the thing, you can collect them here, and then it'll automatically take the program stars and put them into the program itself. Of course, this works with each of the different things, the prospects, the Granderson, the wood, all that stuff. It automatically moves it over there to those. Of course, you get stadium stuff. As we move along, they added the monthly stuff where you get specific monthly things and it'll count towards it. You get your prestige players. And then the big one that I wanted to talk about was the live series. So again, I don't know if they do this in NFL or NBA or any of those, but what they do is they'll give you all the teams and you have to collect all the live series players that are currently in the 40-man rosters for that team. Let's go with the one that I'm currently on. I don't know why it says... Oh, I guess it's because I don't have everybody at the moment, because I have everybody. Oh, I guess it's because of the different times and everything is... I don't have everybody collected. But if you get 10 players, they'll give you a certain amount of stubs and stuff. 20 players, 30 players, and then all players. If you get all players on a specific team, they will give you a card. Usually it's going to be like a low diamond or like a high gold, depending on how hard it is to collect all the players. Now, early on in the Diamondbacks, even now, there isn't too many hard players. I think there was like a diamond early on, which is why you can get Luis Gonzalez. But if we take somebody like the Pirates, they don't really have a lot of amazing players. So the reward here isn't an amazing player. It's a gold player. But if you take somebody like the Dodgers, who have a lot of diamonds, they will give you a mid-tier diamond. 92 Mike Piazza. That's a pretty good card to get, especially if the most prominent time you'll probably collect all of these is within the first, month or two of the game coming out, maybe 3 months, and there might not be a lot of good catchers out already. Now, after you collect, let's say this, which is the NL West, you can go up and there will be an NL West one where you put all the 5 different players in and it'll give you another good card to collect for your team. In this case, it's the 93 Tony Gwynn. Good contact, good fielding, good speed. Not a lot of power, but a guy that could bunt a lot, a guy that can field pretty well, a guy that can probably slap some good singles past the infield. And it would do this for each division. And of course, the free agency stuff, which is a lot of players, but it gives you some good stubs for it, so I won't be upset. It gives you some stubs for it. And then once you do all of these, let's say you did all the 3 National Leagues, you will get one really, really great National League player, in this case Gary Sheffield, 99 overall, amazing hitting stats, maybe not the best defender, but amazing hitting stats. If you did the American League one, if I could move over to the American League one, you got Craig Biggio. Not an amazing power guy, but amazing contact, amazing fielding and speed. And then if you can get all of these cards, if you can get all 6 of the divisions, if you can get both the American League and the National League guy, you will get the main guy that they will show you, which is probably going to be one of the better cards in the games that you're probably going to use for like most of the year. In this case, it was Mickey Mantle. He could do it all. He can hit for average. He can hit for power. He can field. He can throw. He can hit. Most of the time, they're probably going to be a 5-tool player. Now, of course, we don't know who's going to be the card for next year. Last year, it was Vladimir Guerrero. I think last year was Vladimir Guerrero, or was that 2018? I don't remember. But one of the years was Vladimir Guerrero. This year it was Mickey Mantle. Next year it could be Willie Mays or Ken Griffey. I don't think it's going to be Ken Griffey because obviously it's Ken Griffey fucking Jr. But you get the shtick. You get the idea. And then this year what they did was they gave you a bunch of different things where you can do the cover athlete. Was it the specific cover athlete ones that they put in the game. Rookie cards. They gave you breakout cards. And if you collected a certain amount of them, it would build towards you being able to get this 99 Mike Trout. As you can see, they give you a bunch of different things that you can collect in order to get them. And it's a fantastic card. I'm hitting absolutely wonderfully with him. So I can say that I am extremely happy that I got him. And of course, with everything else, if you get a certain amount of cards, it'll give you different like players, or in this case, it'll give you certain bundles, certain stubs, certain, of course, like the vouchers and everything like that. Woo! All right, we're done with collections. This is going to be a long video. The next thing that they introduced, I don't remember if they introduced it in 2019 or this year. I think it was 2019, but they like really improved on it in this year, was Team Affinity, not Team Infinity. We'll go to like the main Team Affinity page. Basically, you have all the teams that you can do Team Affinity in, which is something that I really didn't do, which I probably should have done. But it's a thing where it'll give you specific missions where you play just a certain amount of innings with players online, but it has to be online. Let's go like to earlier stages, getting certain things with certain types of players. You can exchange player cards to further this. You can do the showdowns to further this. You can do certain conquest stuff. You can do certain collections, moments, and then March to October, which is something that I'll talk about a little later. But you know, it's all these different things which will build up to getting certain players. This year they did it to where they gave you a prospect card early on, which is something that they were able to do this year. They weren't really able to do it in years prior, but they were able to use prospect cards. They would give you a prospect, then they would give you a pretty decent card depending on, you know, like they gave you like a good franchise card for the team. That's all right. Then of course they'd give you round 2 where they'd bring up, this year they did round 2 where it was like a future star player. Then they did round 3 where it was like a kind of like a legend player. And then at round 4, which was the finest cards, which is a specific card that they do at the end of every year, where they basically just take the best player from each team and they give them a extremely juiced card. Extremely juiced. DJ, I'm not a huge fan of hitting with like extremely tall players. Like, I'm fine with anything between like 6'2" and like 5'8". Those are like the players I like using. When you get into the territory of like Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, when they're like 6'7", the strike zone might be a little too wide or tall for me. But again, that's just my preference. And of course, they give you a bunch of different packs and a bunch of different stubs to go along with each of these. Of course, I just use the one that I've obviously done the most in. But yeah, no, it's just they give you a bunch of different cards, a bunch of different packs, a bunch of different people, stubs, and everything like that in order to collect. And of course, if you have your favorite team, it'll give you yours like right there, bang bang, and you can just move on. Now, the next way that you can kind of collect cards is the XP reward path. Now, the reward path is just playing the game. Again, just like how you earn stubs just by playing the game, you will also just earn experience points by just playing the game. Early on, the cards they're all right. Of course, they give you some silvers, they give you some bronzes, they'll give you a couple golds. But it'll get to a point where they'll give you high diamonds. Of course, they spread it out. So here they give you a choice of 5 different players. You look at it and you go, all right, those are some pretty good players. You got a good pitcher, you got a good contact and speed guy, you got that good lefty pitcher, you got the good power hitter, and you got the good reliever. But you can only pick one. And then as you go along, you'll notice, oh, I get one here now. And then you go along and you don't get one, you don't get one, you don't get one. Oh, there they are again. You'll go along again. You don't get it. There it is again. And then there it is again. So as you level up, you will get these players. Now, what they did is at every 100, which you start at bronze, you start at bronze 0, you get to bronze 100, which I guess is like a silver 1. And they'll give you the reward ones, which are all 99s, which are all really good players. The Barry Larkin, I think, was all right. The Reggie was amazing. The Ryan Sandberg was pretty good. Minnie Minoso, I didn't really use, but he was all right. And Buster Posey, I love using Buster Posey. He was really good for me. So these are all players that you will probably want to use for a good amount of the year. Of course, as you level up, you get more and more and more and more and more and more. But what they decided to do this year is because they added prestige players, they also added a prestige rank. It would go from bronze to silver to gold to diamond, and then at the end of diamond would be it. But this year, since they added prestige, they added a prestige reward path. And this is when it got real good. You could prestige all 5 players that you had just by playing the game again. You got a bunch of different things, and they gave you extra rewards. In 99 Thames, which is an amazing power hitter. 99 Ramirez, which is a pretty just good overall player. And George Springer, which is, Jesus Christ, it's George Springer. Man, could fucking hit. And then they gave you a chance to get like the high 90 overall players, which are more likely going to be like the expensive ones. Just so maybe you can do the other stuff, like the other collections that you want to do. But, yeah. I think I should kind of go a little faster. I didn't realize it was going to take this long, I'll be honest. But I'm putting it up anyway. I know there are people who want to understand and learn about all the different things, so I'm going to do it, damn it. I don't care. If nobody watches it, nobody watches it. But if I can help at least one person understand a little bit about anything that they might want to learn about, then I am satisfied. Now the next thing is it'll be faster, is the inventory. You can check out your player stuff, the equipment, sponsorships, stadiums, unlockable stuff. For players, they separate it into your live series and then just everybody else. Basically, it's just your prospect cards, your rookie cards, your fucking postseason all-star. All those players will be over here in like the flashbacks. Of course, they go for each team. And good luck finding your player that you want in free agents. So many. Whew. But yeah, no, it's just you're able to go through all the different things and find maybe certain things that you want here. The inventory is mainly for like selling stuff. That's what I use my inventory as. It's mainly just what do I want to sell, which I guess I'll go a little bit into like the stubs, how stubs work, because I saw in I've seen in like a video, like with Madden, you can bid on players. Like you want to spend a certain amount, and then you can spend a certain amount, or you can spend a specific or you can I am not explaining this well. But I saw it was kind of like a bidding war. You can go into a bidding war. You can put in an offer to potentially buy somebody, or you can just buy them now. That's kind of how it works here. Like I'm going to go to a player that I got off screen, which is Marcelo Zuna. I have 2 of them. He's a diamond player. He goes for about 9,100 stubs. So what I can do is I can quick sell him for 5,000. Diamonds can quick sell for 5,000. Golds can quick sell for 1,000. I think silvers quick sell for 100. And bronzes sell for 25. And then I think commons sell for either 5 or 10 with quick sell. I think it's I'm pretty confident on the first 3 or 4. But I'm not 100% on commons. So you can do that. Or if you pull a player, you can do a sell now, which is whatever people might want to buy it for. Obviously, in this case, you would never think about doing a sell now, because why would you sell it for 2,000 to random player number 5,620 when you can just quick sell it for 5,000? You know, you can sell it to him for 2,000, or you can quick sell for 5. Do the math, which is better. Or you can put him on the market for whatever price you want. So that person has it for $91.99. I'll put him for $91.95, and then we'll see if somebody buys it. Of course, you have a 10% tax rate that you will not get. I don't know, it just goes into the fucking stratosphere. Fuck if I know where the hell it goes. But ow, that's my funny bone. Stupid desk. Oh, but we're keeping it all in. But you know, that's mainly how that all works. And of course, you have your community market, which is the same thing that I just showed you. Of course, you can buy stubs if you really feel like it. That's up to you. I don't think in this game I never bought any stubs, so I was able to do all this. I was able to collect a bunch of different players. I'm able to have 700,000 stubs currently, just by playing the game. I didn't need to buy any stubs. And then of course you have your different packs. You have specific types of packs. You have your normal packs. They usually have a pack that comes out maybe like once a week. What they did this year was headliner packs. It's not as good, I want to say, as in prior years. Like in prior years, they had like power packs, they had speed packs, they had this pack, they had that pack, they had a whole shit ton of packs. As the years have gone on, they've kind of slowed down with them. It could just be this year because of the whole virus thing going on, which I guess I would understand. But they had specific headliners packs. I'll kind of just show you like with how everything works. They give you normal packs, which is 4 players, and then 1 item, which is either going to be equipment, a stadium, a sponsorship, something like that. Now the prices are going to probably be a little different when 21 comes out, because at the beginning of the year they started out at 1,500, then this was 15,000, 30,000, and then 75,000. But as the year kind of ended, they lowered the prices to basically make it like a pack is 1,000. But if you want to do certain bundles, they'll give you extra rewards. So here, if you do 10 packs, you would get a silver player. But with the silver player, I can't really look at it. But with the silver player, you had a chance to get a silver, you had a different chance to get a gold, and you had a different chance to get a diamond. So you can still get the higher cards, but it's chance. To guarantee a gold player, you would get a 20-pack bundle. If you want to guarantee a gold or maybe even a diamond, which this year it was 99% of gold, you would get the 50-pack. But I guess to just show it, we'll get one of these, and then we'll get one of these, just to kind of show it off. Something that they did was they allowed you to see the odds of getting a player. If you can get a bronze, that's a 1 in 1. You're gonna get a bronze no matter what. Silver is a 1 in 3, gold is a 1 in 10, and then a diamond is a 1 in 50 for just your normal packs. Let's see, we got a silver. I'll take it, Frammo Reyes. And of course, you get a stadium, which, if you look at the number, you're gonna get a shit ton of stadiums. Be prepared for that. Then with the headliners packs, they gave you better odds. You're always going to get a silver. You have a 1 in 3 to get a gold instead of a 1 in 10. And then you have a 1 in 10 to get a diamond instead of a 1 in 50. So they give you better odds to get all the different players. And then of course, each headliner has its own different player that you can potentially get in all the different packs. So we're just going to go through these just to see. I know I'm probably going to get silvers in all of them. But, you know, just to see if maybe I have some luck. Just maybe. No, I knew I was going to get all silvers. It's almost guaranteed at this fucking point. But I think after 50 minutes... Wait, no. Not yet. There is one more thing I didn't talk about. That is the missions. So, you have all those different things that you can do to earn specific rewards and points towards your programs, but they will also give you random missions that you can complete to also earn those things, because this is something that I wanted to show off. So you have certain ones, getting a certain amount of innings with Colorado players, you get if you can pitch a complete game, if you can get certain amount of runs with certain players, and then they usually have an exchange. With this one is probably the easiest one you can do. You go in, you go, all right, I need 500 points of things. This one, it's easy because I have 24 fucking cleats. I can just do 3. Enter, bam, I just got some points. I just got some points to go towards my program, and it's just as easy as that. But now I think I've gone through just about everything I can think about with MLB The Show Diamond Dynasty. And that was a long time. But hey, that's just mode number 1 of... Alright. So, after that, we got the next big one, which is franchise, which is... I made a video about things that I want in franchise. But just to kind of give like a small thing, you can use like your own rosters, you can use the current main rosters, you can use default ones, you can use ones from games that you've had in the past. We use current ones just to show it off. You pick your team. I like the Yankees, so I'm just gonna pick the Yankees. You can view the roster if you feel like it, just to see who you have and where they are and all their stats and all that stuff. You pick them, and then you have a bunch of different things. Something that they did was they had a thing where you can do a GM contract where after 3 years, based on your performance, maybe you stay with your team, maybe you don't. You can do a fantasy draft where you just have everybody in the lottery and you draft them everybody. You can do legend free agency where you have all the free agents also include all the different legends. You can do the computer controlling everything. You can ignore budgets, which is something that I like to do because I just like to play it without having to worry about, oh no, I'm gonna go $1 million over the budget. God forbid I spend that extra $1 million, you know? Then of course you can do force stuff, and then you can do designated hitter where it's automatic on or off. Of course, you can have everything set to manual where you take control of everything, or you can set it to manual where you or you set it to auto. I'm dumb. You just set it to auto, so you let the computer take control of everything. My main issue with this is, so let's say I have everything on manual, and then I go to regular season. If I go to like the next season, right? Let's say that everybody who is here is who I want in the big leagues, right? Everybody who is here, everybody who is currently in the big leagues is who I want in the big leagues. Sometimes the computer, the AI, will be like, well, maybe we didn't want Thairo Estrada to be on the major league team. Maybe we wanted Estevan Florial to be on the major league team. And let's say Thairo Estrada is a better player who currently, as you can see here, has no more minor league options. I cannot send him down to the minor leagues without him having a chance to being picked up by a different team, you know? It doesn't really give you the control of that. It just kind of does it on its own, which sucks. But I hope that's something that they pan out for the show 21. And of course, if they do, I will talk about it in a later video whenever they go over all the different things for franchise. But yeah, no, I just kind of wanted to show you all the different things. You can look at all your budget stuff. You can look at your GM goals, different things that you can do for there. You can have specific training things for each of players. You want them to get better in contact, you can set it that way. You want them to get better in power or speed or whatever, you can set all that stuff. Of course, you have a morale system where depending on where they are maybe in the lineup or how often they're playing or how the coaches are or just how they're doing or the team is doing, that'll all determine on how happy or angry they are. As you can see with these guys, he's angry because he's not a star player and he doesn't have the amount of money on his contract that he wants. So it's a lot of playing around with a bunch of different things to kind of make them happy. And then of course you got like free agent stuff, you got your transactions, you have scouting stuff, you have contracts. You can control the contracts of all the different coaches or the scouts that you have. If we can go to the scouts, here you probably want to go something like you want an international, east, west, and central guy. Of course you have your trading stuff, you have your just statistics stuff, prospects, awards, and then your options, which you can control if you really want to. But That's enough of franchise. That's a small thing that I wanted to go over. Road to the Show is a mode where you play as yourself. You can make whatever player you want. You can put them at whatever position you want. You can build however you want them to be, and then you'll get drafted into a team. Here I am currently drafted into the Atlanta Braves. You can customize the player to look however you want. You can give them a bunch of different things to build up their stats. You can control how they look appearance wise. You can control their motions. I like this stance because it's Barry fucking Bonds, so I'm always going to use that. But yeah, you can control, oh, I want this to look like this, so I want this to look like this, you know. Of course, you can set all the music stuff up too as well. And you can change how the cleats look. You can change the colors, and it's just a bunch of different like things that you can control with it, and you play as yourself. It's as simple as that. You can set it to however you want, and you just play it as yourself. Now, I think now is when I'm going to talk about the specific difficulties. For anybody that's still here, this is important. So I hope people are still here to at least listen to this, because I probably should have talked about it earlier in the video, but I guess this is something that I should talk about now. We're going to back out of this just to kind of show it. So we're going to go to custom practice. We're going to go here. I probably should have done this a little differently, but we're going to go here, and I'm going to show you the main differences in the difficulties, because if you've never played the game, you will probably be a little surprised when they start to show up. So we're going to start in rookie, just so you have an idea of what this looks like. So in rookie, as you're batting, you have a huge PCI, right? You have huge, and the pitches come in decently slow. So what they did is every difficulty, everything becomes faster and faster. Okay, so you can kind of gauge like the speed of that. Now we're gonna go to the next one. We're gonna go to veteran. Now let's see how fast it comes here. As you can see, my PCI got a little smaller, and it comes in a little faster. Now let's go to the all-star mode. PCI again got smaller, and it comes in faster. I was able to time it, but it comes in faster. It comes in faster with each one. Now we'll go to Hall of Fame. Now this is when it starts to get pretty fast, and your PCI guesses get really small. We'll see it come in. Comes in pretty fast. And then, of course, Legend. You got a tiny ass PCI, and this is when things come in even faster. Now, of course, I may not be showing it off the best. I might do like a split thing just to kind of show it off, just so you can kind of see how fast each one works. But they decided to make it to where each one has its own speed of the pitches. Now, personally, I think I'm fine with the PCI decreasing with each one, but I think what they should have done is make it to where the speed of the pitches doesn't really change. I don't know. I think they should have left it like, I think like All-Star or Hall of Fame is a good pitch speed. And I think they should have like left it at that speed and then just made the PCI decrease per different thing. But that's just me. Maybe I'm just nitpicking. I don't know. Of course, you have Play Now, which is using rosters. You can do like online stuff. I think this is, yeah, no, you can play with specific teams online and all that stuff. March to October, which is a mode like franchise where it's a one season thing. I'm not going to go into it. I don't know if I can continue the one. Can I just continue here? Or will it make me, okay. So this is how it looks. It gives you a bunch of different things that you can do in it, where like it'll start you at game one. If you win, then you get boosted up. Depending on how often you win, whenever they give you a chance to win, that will either boost up or lower your chances of winning the World Series, which is the thing that you want to do, because if you win the World Series, depending on the different difficulties, that will get you amount of progress and maybe some packs and stubs to work with the online stuff. But yeah, no, it's just a small thing. Well, it's not a small thing. It's something that if you want to do it, it'll probably take you about 6 to 10 hours, depending on how fast you can do it and how many opportunities they give you. But this is just a thing where you can do that, and as the year goes along, it gives you a bunch of different choices that you can make to either improve your team or, depending on how you play it, worsen your team. And I guess the last thing here was custom leagues, which is just online franchise mode with that you can play with like friends or random people. I never really got into it because I am a lonely person. So, hey, if I happen to maybe get big enough to the point where I can maybe play with other creators, I do it. But as it stands right now, I'm a lonely person. I'm just lonely. Then we got the community stuff, which is mainly your online stuff. But they also give you vaults, which is something that if you want to do franchise, vaults is going to be the place that you are gonna want to visit. So they give you any kind of roster that people put up. Anybody can put up any roster that they want, and you can sort through date, name, descending, ascending. I think I want to do, is it just search? Yeah. In search, you can search through fantasy ones, you can search through current ones, historic, or just whatever you want. You can search by certain players' names or IDs, and if you want to look up certain people, of course, you can look those up. The one that people like the most is writing rosters, because they include like a lot of the prospects. They include like a lot of like, I think they do like the ability to change their faces a little bit to where it kind of looks like them a little more, or change like the stances so it kind of looks like them a little more. They don't really tinker too much with the stats, to my knowledge. I feel like if they did that a little bit to kind of more represent each player, if they might be just a little different than what MLB The Show has, I mean, that'd probably make it perfect for me. But you can do that. You have players that you can add. Like a lot of people, you got Ichiro, or Ichiro. Take your pick. You got sliders, which is something that I'll go into in just a second, and of course all the different logos that people make. And then of course you got your mini mode stuff. You got your moments. Challenge of the week is every week they'll give you a challenge, which is usually in the sense of like Homerun Derby, where it's you just do a lot of hitting against a random pitcher with a specific hitter. I don't think it's gonna show me anything. Oh, I guess it will. All right, damn. Prove me wrong. But it's you get points based on the type of hits, how many hits you can hit in a row. You want to obviously try to go for a lot of like extra base hits, a lot of home runs, and all that stuff. You get a chance to win stubs. You get a chance to win like autographed jerseys, bats, and all that. Of course, you got the home run derby, which you can do offline or online. And like I said here, because a guy asked me about everything like this, you can get everybody from the start. You want to use Jim Thome from the start? Here you go. You want to use Ken Griffey Jr.? So long as they're a player that they have already like guaranteed is going to probably be in the game, they'll probably be here with at least some version of themselves. And of course, they just use every player from everything. You got your retro mode, which they introduced, I think, 2017. It's kind of been downgraded, where it's just like a mode that they just have in the game, where it's like think of like the old baseball games back in like the 90s, where it's just you kind of go left and right, you press the X button to swing, and you can do all that. Of course, like I showed before, you have the custom practice, where you can practice doing a lot of different things. If you want to get good at the game, I would probably suggest going into it, starting out with whatever mode you feel comfortable with, and then progressing yourself higher and higher to feel more comfortable with all the different difficulties with pitching and hitting. And then if you want to just do a postseason thing, you can go do that and just go have a postseason. You can put whoever the hell you want in it. You want the fucking Marlins, to face the Pirates? Go nuts. See who would win it. You want to randomize everything completely? Go do that too. And then over here at the end, which is the option stuff, you can control all the different settings, which is either presentation, if you want specific things to pop up or not pop up, if you want the audio to have a lot of different things. Obviously, you don't want the music on because copyright. You gotta love it. You can do more specific things, which depends on obviously the different types of modes. And then of course you have all your save data. You have chance to create and edit players if you feel like it. You have roster control where you can kind of just put any player wherever the hell you want them to be. Hey, you want Babe Ruth on the Twins? Go nuts. Why not? But I think I have gone over just about everything in the damn game. Of course, Sounds of the Show is actually the music stuff where you want to turn everything off. But I think I've gone over everything in the game. And of course, they'll give you, at least this year, they gave you a schedule of what will come out when it comes out. And then they give you kind of like new stuff of what's in the game right now, where they are, where you can find all the different things and all of that. But, whew, that took a lot. I know this is going to be a long video, but I'm going to obviously split it into sections in the video itself. Like I'll put like ranked season stuff or battle royale or, you know, all that. So if this helps you out, then I'm perfectly happy with it. So long as this helps somebody out. If you want to know a lot, anything about the game and this helps you out, perfect. I have done my job. That's all I want to do. Now, as they come out with a lot of different things, like they're going to be coming out with gameplay stuff next month, and I'm assuming they're probably going to send out their first like main trailer, I would guess within the next 2 weeks, to kind of get like the excitement to start going before they announce their schedule for whenever they do like the franchise stuff or Diamond Dynasty stuff or ratings or whatever it may be. So whenever any of those things come out, I'm gonna go and kind of explain them all to you. I'm hoping that by time they do the presentations, which I don't know if they're gonna stream it this year or if they're gonna just kind of do like premieres or whatever they might do. I'm hoping that maybe I can have like a webcam by then, like a setup for a webcam. Cause I'll admit, god damn it, I hate when it does that. You leave it on the main screen for too long, it'll just go into an automatic game with computers. But I'm hoping to have like a face cam by then, because I'll be honest, even whenever I look at like a video like this, I prefer looking like at a webcam of somebody talking about all the different things. Because let's be honest, it just looks better in my opinion. But hey, this channel will be the channel where I get to show my face for the first time. So hey, you guys are gonna be the first to see it. But I'm hoping to have that all set up by the time they do it in March. But I think I've gotten everything out that I want to talk about the game. If you have any other questions, of course, you can leave them in the comments below. I'll answer anything you have to ask about the game. If you need any kind of help with the game or just any opinions or whatever it may be, just leave them down in the comments below and I'll get to you as soon as I notice that you've commented, because it's not that hard to notice, honestly, when you have this few subscribers. But I think with all that being said, that is going to end the video. If you liked it, leave a like. This took... I can feel the dryness in my throat. Woo! But either way, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And I hope to see you all in the next video on this channel, which is probably going to be me doing some more ranked seasons. So, see you then.